We've been talking to Michael Savage, of course.
Yeah.
You've been listening to that. Any thoughts on some of the comments so far?
Well, the thing that's interesting, this is like my biggest complaint with the whole political process and anybody. I'm trying to figure out, they throw these words around like liberal, moderate, conservative, and we're like idiots. We sit here and like choose sides. Man, I don't care what it is. Let's just solve these problems.
About the people, right?
It's our country. It's not his. He says his country. No, it's our country. We elect these guys to run the country. They're just not doing their job. And everything get blamed on the Clintons. Every single thing in this world. I think Bill Clinton shot JFK too. Everything. It's funny. No matter what happens in this country, somehow now he went back and blamed some on Jimmy Carter. Everything.
Michael, can you hear us?
If you knew your history, you'd know what I'm talking about. It's nice for you to sit there and make jokes, but
I'm
I
not
know
making
my
jokes.
facts.
I'm telling facts.
You're just throwing stuff out without knowing your history.
Hey, I'm not
Jimmy
trying.
Carter
You
won
want to
his
blame
Nobel
everything
Prize
on
for
Bill
his
Clinton.
negotiations
Hey,
in
you know what? I hope you sell a lot of books.
If you want to do a variety show,
I hope
do
you
it
sell a
somewhere
lot
else.
of books. And I've never heard of the Savage Nation. Don't care about the Savage Nation.
I don't care what you heard. I don't know who
this
you
nation.
are. I'm on 300 stations.
Yeah.
People
So what?
love me, man.
So what?
So what?
You're on 300
so it's a big
stations.
deal to me.
So you got
so
300
it's a big deal
listeners.
to me. So it's a big deal to me. I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I get so tired.
What do you do? What do you do? I don't even know who you are. I have no idea who you are.
That makes two of us.
What do you do?
What do I do? I work
for.
for CNN TNT.
Excellent.
That's
Can
what
you
I
please
do.
tell me
What
your
do you
education-
do?
What's your education
Michael
level?
Savage.
I went to Auburn
What's your
University.
education level?
This is what I do. I went to Auburn University.
All right,
and let
great.
me tell
I'm
you
glad
this.
to hear it.
Hold
Then
on,
you wanna
no.
learn
I'm
your
glad
history.
you mentioned that to me.
Learn your history, brother.
Hey, let me just say.
Learn your history,
this
brother.
Is what, I'm not worried about history. I'm living right now. I'm trying to make a difference right now.
This explains the whole thing.
Hang
You're
on,
part
one sec.
Then you're
Chris,
part of the ignoramus brigade.
Chris, I think we have a quick
Period.
audience comment, and then we're going to break quickly. Stand up, talk to me over here.
I agree with Charles Barkley, but let me tell you who he is. He's Charles Barkley. How can you not know him?
All right, Michael, let's talk about your book a little bit more. Another excerpt from the book. If America is going to survive, we must close our borders to those who come to mooch and to those from all terror-sponsoring countries. Haven't we learned our lesson from 9/11? I say we must defend our borders from those who come to exploit our nation, or we're cooked. Want to expound on that for me, sir?
Well, I think it's self-evident that a nation is defined primarily by its borders. Without borders, where's the nation? That's number one. When you have a house, your house is defined by your property line. A nation is defined by its property line. Either you defend it or you let burglars in. We have 15 to 20 million illegal aliens in this country. Yes, I know many immigrants are hardworking, but how do you explain that 30% of all of our prisoners are here illegally? They didn't come here to work. They came here to work the system. We need to do what people are doing in Europe. Even liberal Europe is closing its borders and seeing who's coming in and who's not coming in. Who do you want in your country? Do you want anybody? Do you want everybody? You want a selective few? Can we afford to take in tens of millions of people when we have poor people of our own? These are questions that aren't being discussed.
I think there is some truth in that. I think we have to hold people accountable. I think as far as immigration, that's always going to be a very difficult situation because, number one, discrimination is always going to exist. There are a lot of great people here who are immigrants who come here with goodwill, but some people come here with bad will, and we just have to – but some people already here got bad will. But,
well, what would you do? What would you deport native citizens?
If they're bad people, you put them in jail.
Well, we do. Well, we do, but now what we got to do is see why are we letting criminals into the country? I mean, what sense does that make?
Well, who gets to pick and choose who we let in and who we don't let in is the question.
Well,
Michael, you're mainly talking about the illegal aliens, correct? Michael?
Well, of course I'm primarily focusing on those who come here illegally. Mm-hmm. But let's also focus on immigrants in general. I'm an immigrant's son.
Yes, you are. I read that in your book.
Which immigrants does a nation want? Do you want educated immigrants? Do you want poor? Do you want people with tuberculosis? Do you want people who need heart and lung transplants that everyone has to pay for?
So
don't you have to decide what you want to bring into your country? No
disrespect to your father. He's an immigrant?
No, he's dead.
I know I'm saying he was an immigrant.
So
what if somebody didn't want him to come here, who was on a television station years ago saying your father, who's an immigrant, should be
you see, again, you're missing the point. He came here legally. He didn't swim across the border.
That's my point. We're not saying all immigrants who come here have goodwill, legal or illegal, but who gets to pick and choose that? That's the question.
Who gets to pick and choose? A nation has a dialogue about it, and we say We can't take in any more people. We have our own poor. If we want any more immigrants, we need to find out if they're criminals, if they're healthy. We used to have an Ellis Island where people, if they had a disease, they were quarantined. We have people coming in today with tuberculosis. We certainly can't agree that that's a good thing for America, can we?
Well, I will agree with you on that. I think we do have to do a better job of screening, but also it would just be fair. And the system right now is not fair. First of all, I'm not disagreeing with you that we have to be more restrictive as far as immigration. But who knows who's going to be a crook when they get in and who's going to be a hard-working person is my question. Who gets to choose?
Well, I think we have quite a database of illegal aliens who are not permitted into the country, and we certainly want to keep them out. My main point is that our border with Mexico is not guarded sufficiently. You've got citizens trying to protect their farms. I think we ought to put some troops on the border with Mexico, not continue to leave it as an open sieve. What if terrorists want to walk across that border?
So are you saying specifically that Mexicans are the ones who come over here to do harm, or that border is soft?
Well, I didn't say which race is because I haven't studied it. However, if you look at your prison population and you know that 30% of the prisoners are illegal aliens, you'd have to break that down by country of origin. So I haven't done that. I haven't seen that data. The fact is that the border with Mexico is quite porous, and terrorists are known to come into a country through a porous border. They caught them in the Canadian border. The Mexican border is wide open. The government ought to look into that and help the Border Patrol with some U.S. troops. I think we ought to take our troops out of South Korea and put them on the border with Mexico.
You know, it's interesting. You said 30% of the criminals are illegal aliens. Is that what you said?
That's what I read.
Sounds like 70% of them are our own people.
So?
That's my point. You blaming 30% of the people for the problem, and 70% of the people, they're friends of ours, they're our family members. Why are you blaming that small 30% and not blaming that 70%?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Your logic seems to be so
you said
up. You can't even present an argument. I don't know what you're saying. You're saying that we should let the 30%
go. Oh, come on, Michael.
You know what Michael is? Michael's one of them guys who's really, really smart, who's a dumbass. Like, he wants you really intelligent.
Wait. Listen, no. I am jumping in here. Michael Savage, listen. Michael Savage, thank you very much for joining us here today. Sir Charles is leaving us again. Hey,
go dribble a
both
ball.
of you, time out. We'll be back in a moment. Cut.
You couldn't shine my shoes, Buster.